How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video, or at least a quick review. And I'm actually really excited for this one. And to an extent, I wanted to give it as much love as I could. In fact, before I could even get the chance to review this particular movie, I've been waiting and kind of putting it off to an extent, rewatch the film. And, that way I have a fresh, idea of what I was to expect, or if anything, what to say. And sure enough, it did not disappoint. This is one of those movies that is not only a classic, but to an extent is interesting, especially with a lot of the risks that were taken in order to make this particular film. And that, of course, is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was originally released in 1988. It was directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Gary K. Wolfe, which, by the way, is the original novel of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jeffrey Price, and Peter S. Simon. Hopefully I said the name correctly. Going further, especially when it comes to further details, as I mentioned, released in 1988. Though, as I'm looking on IMDb, released on June 22nd, 1988. It was filmed at the 3280 Hyperion Ave in Los Angeles. Production companies was Touchstone Pictures, Amblin Entertainment, Silver Screen Pictures, and many others. And I guess to kind of give the premise of this particular film, because the story itself is intriguing, and it really kind of delve into a lot of the issues back in that, close to that time period that is represented in the film. To an extent, it's I guess a mashup, or at least with Hollywood and stuff like that, it's a mashup between toons, like living toons and humans, and to an extent, there is mistreatment of toons because they are treated as lessers compared to humanity. And to an extent, we have a detective, or a rundown detective, who has to go through this entire case to uncover who murdered this one individual, as well as trying to clear the name of a rabbit known as Roger. All in all, this is, again, probably one of my favorite films. And the story itself is intriguing, as well as the idea. And I think, if anything, for this particular review, story and animation kind of coincide to each other. And I say that because, to a very large degree, this movie wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the effects. So, to an extent, they really kind of delve into this whole situation of how toons would interact with, real people. And it looks great. It really does. The story itself, following the rundown detective, played by Bob Hoskins, also known as Eddie Valiant. We follow him. As we start the film, it's made very clear that he has a chip on his shoulder. There's clearly a situation with him where in this world where they can interact with toons. He hates them. And it's uncovered why he hates them, which is pretty cool. Like when they delve into that, we have Christopher Lloyd, who is the villain, Judge Doom. Not going into too much about him. I want to, for those who have never seen the film, I ask you guys to go check it out. By the way, this is gonna be a 10 out of 10. And it's not just because it's classic, because to an extent, back in the day, this was one of those films that actually took a lot of risks involving, the animation, the effect, and so on. We have Jonah Cassidy, who played Dolores, Charles Flesher, who played Roger Rabbit, and apparently, fun fact, during recording the movie, Charles Flesher really got into apparently to get into character got into a Roger Rabbit suit, which honestly I kind of find funny to a really interesting degree. We had Stubby K playing Marvy Acme, Alan Tilvern playing RK Maroon, which, by the way, another fun fact, was a very common insult back in that day. Richard Le Parmentier playing Lieutenant Satino, and Lou Hirsch playing Baby Herman. So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that goes on, or a lot of good actors to an extent, and each actor played their characters perfectly. Each one having their own personality, like the main ones that we focus on. Bob Hopkins or Eddie Valiant, and Charles Fleischer's Roger Rabbit. At first, their personalities are polar opposites, and to an extent are kind of grating, or at least for Valiant's side is kind of grating to an extent, because again, he doesn't like tunes, and their interactions with other people are really great. Christopher Lloyd playing, again, not going into too much detail, playing the villain is really good. His acting is always excellent, and he's always just a joy to see on films. So, all in all, story's great, characters, actors were great. Some of the settings were excellent, especially since it's in Hollywood area. It's really cool. Now, going further, they do their best to really kind of put as many animated characters as possible, which the way they got that to work is really freaking cool, with doing the animation as well as practicing lighting with the characters, kind of being in a human based setting, is pretty good. All in all, I enjoyed it. So, to an extent, I guess overall, because I don't want to go into spoilers. I want you guys to go check out this movie. Me personally, it is a classic for me. I enjoy it. There was a lot of things that they did that worked out for the most part. And honestly, it's one of those movies that would be great in your collection. Because it does, bring up a lot of hard topics to an extent. So, go check it out if you guys want. I recommend it. 10 out of 10. I enjoy it. Has good story, has good characters. Took a lot of risks with a lot of the stuff going on, including with their anime characters, which, last fun fact, especially with characters that you would see that were from Disney or Warner, there was basically an agreement where most of the Warner and Disney actors or characters had to be on screen at the same time, basically sharing screen time with each other. So, all in all, it was interesting, to say the least, for this particular film. And I'm glad that it was made, and I'm glad that we got, a lot of people got the chance to see it. So, once again, 10 out of 10, recommended by me. That's my personal opinion. If you guys want to check it out, that's fine. If you guys don't, that's okay too. But for me, my personal, and with it being in my personal collection, 10 out of 10, hands down, Roger Rabbit deserves it. And with that, guys, that was my review of Roger Rabbit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have anything you would like to add, leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.